Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go over iCloud on a PC. All you have to do is go to your favorite browser, Safari, Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, whatever you want, and go ahead and go to iCloud.com. Once you go to iCloud.com, what you're going to need to do is enter in your username and enter in your password. And if you would like, you can press that button right there where it says keep me signed in. Now I have two-factor authentication turned on, so as you can see, all of my apps are locked. I cannot get into them. The only one that's not locked is Find My iPhone, and that's a good thing because that allows me to go ahead and use Find My iPhone to do different things by virtue of like finding my Mac, finding my iPhone. It allows me to find whatever device is lost. Now right here, if I click on Verify, what this does is basically going to send a one-time use only code to one of my devices. I could send it to my iPad, my iPhone, or one of my two phone numbers. And basically it's just going to send a little one-time use code to one of my devices, allowing me to get into the iCloud. If you notice right here, it says remember this browser. That's not something you want to do, in my opinion, especially on a public device, because someone can get into your account. You don't want to remember it. So I think you should never click this box because you want to make sure that you're the only one signing in ever whatsoever. Now go ahead and press next. And if you look over at my iPhone, you will notice that a code is just popped up onto it. And I can look at that one-time use code and I can go ahead and sign into my iCloud. And then I can go ahead and dismiss that and on my iPhone. And now we're totally in. Now, if you notice, all those locks are gone, and that is a good thing. So all that being said, that's great. Okay, now I'm not going to go into the details of all these apps because Mail pretty much works just like it does on the iPhone and the iPad. And I'll go over that in another class. Contacts the same way. Calendar the same way. Photos the same way. You get the idea. And in here, I will go over this a little bit because I wanted to just show you where all your files live. There's no app for this on the iPhone or the iPad, but if you want to be able to use this, this is where you would go. I'm gonna go ahead and go inside here in Keynote, and inside here I have a whole bunch of folders, but inside Apple TV folder, I have one Keynote. And what this allows me to do, if I click on it, I can actually open it up and edit it and do it whatever I want, to it, or I can upload more documents to this folder, or I could download this particular Keynote, or I could delete it, or I could mail it. It's just a little file management way. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and go back. Now, if I click on this, this is just going to give me a little sub menu of that same menu that I had before. It doesn't matter which you choose. If you notice, you can go here, or you can just click here, and then we can move on to the next thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. And basically, the next thing is Find My iPhone. Find My iPhone is a really handy tool that allows you to help you track your lost items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And now I'm in. I'm good to go. I have everything right in front of me. And what this does is right here, it shows me where all my devices are. This shows me that less than a minute ago, Find My iPhone located all my devices reported back to the mothership. And this little dot right here means everything's good to go. Now, if you look down here, these are basically saying that they're offline. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to go ahead and demo how Find My iPhone works, my iPhone and on the Mac right here at the same time. Play a sound. And if you notice, I have to dismiss that on my phone. And if you notice, I got an email at the same time saying that I did that, because that's exactly what this does. Is if you didn't tell it to play a sound and you got that email, it means someone else is inside your account. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into lost mode. Lost mode is kind of a handy way of locking your phone from a distance. I'm going to go ahead and put in a phone number that I want them to call. And then I'm going to go ahead and move to the next screen. I can either press enter or press next. Now, this is basically where you plead to them and say, please give me my phone back. It's just saying, hey, And then if you didn't already have a passcode on your phone, it would ask you for the passcode at this point and then give you the opportunity to go ahead and put it in. And now what we can do is we'll take a look at our phone one more time, and you'll see that it's in totally functioning mode. And then we're going to go ahead and press done, and immediately the phone gets locked, and it gives you that message and gives us the opportunity to go ahead and call it. I can go ahead and unlock it, and I have emergency capability, but I have to unlock it with my passcode before anybody can use it. The only thing I can do is the emergency aspect. I can't do anything else. And if you notice, I can't even see the medical information here because it's assuming that it is locked and we do not want someone else to be having it. Now I can call that phone number automatically. So it's important to be able to put that phone number in there that you have, that 1-800-555-1212. That should actually be a good number that you would want someone to be able to call you at, and that would allow them to call you using your phone. Obviously the iPad and the Mac don't work the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unlock it real quick. I'm going to enter my passcode. And if you notice, the Touch ID does not work. They want you to actually enter in the actual passcode. Now, if you notice, this lost mode is going to change here, and it's going to let you know that you're back on track. It's going to let you know it's good to go. So all that is good to go, and that is back to normal. Now, this erase mode is the same as the lost mode, except the one thing. It will erase your phone. I am not going to demo that for you. I just thought I'd let you know that that is exactly what it does. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go back and move on down the line a little bit. Notes and reminders are, again, just the same as all the things on your Mac. Pages, Numbers, and Keynote are basically apps that you can download on your iPhone and your iPad, or you can have on your Mac, and they use the same. It basically looks the same. Everything's pretty much the same. So they work identical. You can have full access to all of your spreadsheets, all of your documents. It's a great way to use it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over to the settings. Settings is kind of interesting because it gives you a lot of information about your actual device. And what it does is it shows you who's in your family share plan, and then it shows you what devices you have connected to your actual account. It's just really handy. And one of the things that I like the most is right up here in this advanced tab. I can click on this right here. This allows me to reset all of my documents and data. Very handy if I want to from a distance. And this right here gives me the opportunity to sign out all browsers. So anybody that's signed into iCloud.com somewhere, this will force them out of there. Very handy in case someone has gotten a hold of your account. Okay, now what we're going to go over is manage your Apple ID. This is all about security. This is setting up your Apple ID. This is everything. This is very important stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sign in. We're going to enter our username and password. And we're going to press sign in. Again, we're going to have the two-factor authentication working here. So what we have to do is we have to go ahead and tell it where we want the code to go to. And again, this is a one-time code, can't be used ever again. So don't worry about seeing it on my screen. I just have to go ahead and type it in and then go ahead and press continue. And if you mess it up, you can go ahead and press send new code. It's no big deal. Edit your name. You can edit your Apple ID primary email address. You can have an alternate email address. You can edit your verified email address, and of course you can change your date of birth. And then we're going to move on over here to password and security and settings. And this is where we can go ahead and get more information from two-step verification. This is actually where you would turn on two-step verification if it was turned off, but you can go ahead and turn it on here. If you want, you can go ahead and get a new password. And here you can add and remove trusted items. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it's like to go ahead and add and remove a trusted item. So all you have to do is just go ahead and click here, and that device is officially removed from your trusted items. You still have these two phone numbers. You can add a phone number, and you have another device. All right. And when you're done, you go ahead and press done. And then here you could say that you've lost your recovery key, and so you can get a new one. All right. And then down here, iCloud now requires app-specific passwords. And what that means is something like Fantastical that wants to use your Apple ID. Apple does not want to give them your real password. So what they do is they give you a temporary password that's just good for that app. Can't be used for anything else, and that's how you do it. You just go ahead and go in there, and you name the app, and you say generate, and then it will give you a password. I'm not going to go ahead and do that because I don't want you to. I don't want to have that in my system. However, I will go here and view my history, and you can see how I have a Fantastical password that is in there that I created, and it gave me a password, and then I entered it into Fantastical here on my Mac. And then what we can do is we can revoke that if we would like. All right, go ahead and say we're done. And then down here, if I no longer want two-step verification turned on, I can go ahead and disable it right there. And then right here, this page allows you to have your primary address and your default shipping address. Okay. And then right here, this allows you to edit your phone numbers. And right here allows you to edit your language that you speak. And here are some email preferences. Right, now that is it for Apple ID. Again, all you have to do is go to appleid.apple.com. Now, if you go over here real quick, this allows you just to go ahead and sign out. And that's what we're going to do right now because that's the end of the class. Alrighty. And have a good day.